She cut his palm in the duel, and froze as her blade's runes flared and her clan fell. The storm above the crater city of Vera was violet, lightning stretching like skeletal fingers across the blackened sky. On the dueling platform carved from ancient stone, two figures faced each other, one tall and cloaked in the red-stitched armor Clan Seraph, the other lean, clad in the azure battle robes of Clan Drathis. The war between the clans had lasted 2 centuries. Children were raised on stories of betrayal and bloodshed, of endless feuds where every insult demanded repayment in blood. No one remembered the cause anymore, only that Seraph and Drathis must forever be enemies. And so they stood, 2 champions chosen by the elders to settle this year's grievance in ritual combat. Kalen of Seraph, scarred veteran of 100 skirmishes, held a saber inscribed with shimmering runes that pulsed faintly in the stormlight. Across from him stood Lyra Drathis, barely past 20, her long braid tucked into her armor, her blade thinner but etched with the same ancient glyphs. She had never lost a duel, though her victories came with the ruthless precision of someone who killed quickly to avoid hesitation. The herald raised a staff of bone. "Blood before honor," he intoned. "The gods will judge the righteous. Begin." The duel. Lyra lunged first. Her strikes were measured, testing, fast as lightning. Kalen countered, his rim blade humming with every parry. Sparks flew where the 2 blades kissed. The crowd roared from the balconies above. The entire city gathered to witness another cycle of vengeance. "Your clan hides behind younglings now." Kalen taunted as their blades locked. "We're your true warriors." "I am enough," Lyra hissed, twisting free and slicing upward. Steel cut flesh. Her blade kissed Kalen's palm, shallow but crimson. Blood welled across his hand, dripping onto the ancient stones. He barely flinched. But Lyra froze, not because she pitied him, not because she feared reprisal. Her runes flared. The glyphs carved into her sword's surface blazed an unnatural silver, brighter than lightning overhead. A low hum filled the air, vibrating through her bones. The crowd silenced instantly. Kalen looked down at the glowing wound on his palm. The light from her sword seemed to leap into him, etching ghostly runes across his flesh. And then it began. From the eastern balconies where the Drathis elders sat, screams rose. One by one, clan members clutched their chests, collapsing as though struck by invisible spears. Entire rows of Drathis fell. Lyra staggered back, horrified. What is happening? Kalen stared at his bleeding hand, then back at her sword. His voice was low, almost reverent. "You've awakened it." The curse of the runes. In the chaos that followed, the herald tried to declare the duel void, but no one listened. The people of Clan Drathis wailed, dragging their fallen kin from the stands. Already hundreds lay dead, struck down by some unseen force. The storm above howled louder, almost feeding on their misery. Lyra dropped her blade, its glow dimming but not extinguishing. She fell to her knees, staring at her hands. "I didn't mean," she whispered. "I just struck him. It was just a cut." Kalen knelt too, but not in weakness. He picked up her blade carefully, as though it were a holy relic. "The gods have chosen," he said. "The runes of binding were only legend, but here they are. Do you not see? Your clan was bound long ago to this weapon's oath. With blood spilt, their fate is sealed." Lyra's chest tightened. She had heard stories as a child of weapons forged in the first silence, when gods walked the worlds and inscribed blades with chains of fate. But those were myths. No one believed them. And yet, her people were dying because she had cut a man's palm. The Drathis elders who remained alive screamed for her execution, calling her traitor, accursed, weapon of genocide. Guards surged onto the dueling platform, but Kalen raised a glowing blade in defiance. "Touch her, and the curse may claim more," he warned. His voice carried with unnatural weight, amplified by the runes themselves. The guards faltered. Lyra stared at him, trembling. "Why would you protect me? My people are dying because of me." Kalen's scarred face softened. "Because now, girl, you are the most dangerous being in Vera. And whoever controls you controls the fate of the clans." Flight through the city. That night, Lyra fled with Kalen's reluctant aid. Fires burned in the Drathis quarter as riots broke out. Some blamed her for mass murder. Others worshipped her as a vessel of divine will. Word spread faster than flame. The rune bearer had returned, and her blade could unravel bloodlines. Kalen guided her through hidden passages beneath the crater city. "You knew of this legend," she accused. "You acted as if you were waiting for it." "I'd hoped it would never awaken," he admitted. "But every duel risks the spark. Your cut drew my blood. It must have triggered the oath hidden in your clan's veins. Tell me, have you never wondered why your line forbids marriages outside the clan?" Lyra faltered. "It was tradition, purity, honor." "It was containment," Kalen said grimly. "Your ancestors bound themselves to that sword, and through it, to their own destruction. Any outsider's blood touching its edge was meant to unravel them." Lyra's stomach churned. She remembered her uncle's words last winter. "Never question the old laws, child. They keep us safe." Safe from her, the choice of power. Days passed as they hid in abandoned tunnels, hunted by both clans. Lyra wrestled with nightmares, visions of her clan collapsing into dust whenever her blade touched flesh. Kaelin kept watch, teaching her the old histories he half remembered. "Why help me?" she demanded one evening, firelight flickering on the stone walls. "Your clan gains everything from my people's fall. You should hand me over and end this war." Kaelin looked into flames. "Because wars end, girl. I've seen too many. But what you hold could unmake not just your clan, but mine. If the curse spreads, all Vera could fall. And I have grandchildren. I would see them live in a world not burned to ash." Lyra gripped the sword, its runes still faintly glowing. "Then what do we do?" Kaelin sighed. "We find the Forge of Silence, the place where such blades were made. Maybe there you can end this binding." The journey. The forge lay beyond the ash waste, where sandstorms erased whole caravans and monsters prowled beneath shifting dunes. Lyra and Kaelin traveled by night, hiding by day, chased by bounty hunters who sought the rune bearer for their own clans. Along the way, Lyra's control over the blade grew. She learned its hum responded not just to blood, but to intent. Once, when ambushed by raiders, she slashed at the air, not touching flesh, and the runes flared, blasting them back with unseen force. The survivors fled, terrified, whispering her name like a curse. Each use left Lyra shaken. "It's like the sword wants me to wield it, as if it's whispering in my bones." Kaelin nodded grimly. "Weapons like this are not tools. They are hungers." The Forge of Silence. Weeks later, the pair reached the shattered ruins of the forge. Obsidian towers jutted from the desert like broken teeth, their surfaces etched with half-buried glyphs. In the center lay a pit glowing faintly blue, as if the stars themselves had fallen and cooled there. Lyra felt the sword tremble in her grip, pulling her toward the pit. She resisted, sweat beading on her brow. It wants a return. Kaelin placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then let it." But as she stepped forward, shadows rose from the pit. Not men, not creatures, but echoes, ghostly forms of long-dead forgers. Their voices were layered whispers. "Rune-bearer, you awaken what was sealed. You are the oath. You are the blade." Lyra fell to her knees. "I don't want this. My people are dead because of me. Take it back." The voices swelled. "There is no return. Only choice. Wield us, and you command bloodlines. Destroy us, and you destroy yourself." Kaelin stepped between her and the specters. "She deserves more than your curse," he shouted. "Enough of these god games." The shadows recoiled slightly, but their whispers remained. Lyra stared at the glowing runes. In her heart, rage and sorrow mingled. If she destroyed the sword, she might die. If she wielded it, she might become a tyrant worse than the warlords of legend. She looked at Kaelin, at the man who should have been her enemy, but who had protected her. "If I choose to wield it," she asked softly, "will you stop me?" He met her gaze, weary but firm. "Yes, even if it kills me." The final decision. Tears blurred her vision as she lifted the blade. The runes blazed brighter than ever, illuminating the ruins. She felt every heartbeat in the city of Vera, every soul tied to her curse. She could end them all with a thought. And for a terrible instant, she wanted to silence the accusations, the hatred, the endless wars, to make herself unchallengeable. But she saw Kaelin's scarred face, heard the cries of her clan as they fell, and she knew she could not become another god of chains. With a scream, Lyra drove the sword into the heart of the glowing pit. Light erupted, searing white. The runes shrieked, burning away from the blade like fire-consuming parchment. The specters howled and dissolved. Lyra felt her life tearing free, as if the curse demanded her as its final price. Then silence. Kaelin staggered to her side. The sword was gone, nothing left but ash. Lyra collapsed, barely breathing. "You're free," he whispered, holding her hand. "The clans are free." She smiled weakly. "No, just broken. But maybe that's better." Her eyes closed. Epilogue. Weeks later, the war ended. Not because of treaties or victories, but because both clans had lost too much. With the rune-bearer gone, fear gave way to exhaustion. Survivors buried their dead together, side by side. Kaelin returned to Vera, carrying no sword, only a memory. When children asked the girl who ended the curse, he told them not of her power, but of her choice. "She could have ruled us," he said softly, "but she chose instead to save us. Remember that when pride tempts you to raise a blade." And in the quiet nights of the crater city, when storms rolled violet across the sky, some swore they still heard a hum in the wind, like the echo of runes burned into history.